Jim Jefferies, this guy, something is off about him. He sat down with Avi Yemini.
Avi Yemini. I think he's a guy that got set up and they took a bunch of his words out of context.
I got there and I secretly put my phones down to record.
But Avi set up his cell phone and recorded the entire thing. And in doing so, he was able to really expose the game here.
Because he recorded on his cell phone knowing that they were going to set him up.
We filmed for about an hour. And there's about 3 or 4 minutes where he's included little snippets.
What gives anyone the right to tell anyone where they can and can't live?
When you import this culture, what do you think's going to happen? Australia's going to end up the same shithole that they came from, that they were escaping.
See what I really said?
What gives anyone the right to tell anyone where they can and can't live? Really?
Borders,
I know borders, yeah. But wouldn't it just be nice if...
And he even mentions Jordan Peterson in the video where he comes out and reveals the truth about all this.
He'd previously done something similar to Jordan Peterson.
9 out of 10 times he wins. He makes people like me look bad, like Jordan Peterson look bad. But today, I got you, brother.
It's not just what you do, but how you do it. Even if you're able to succeed, in the end, it will destroy you, which is what happened to Jim Jefferies. He brought about his own downfall.
Why do you care what they call themselves? Like
I don't care.
You don't?
I care when people tell me what I have to say.
This is not really about a person's ability to identify as trans. It's about compelling others to buy into your reality.
And conservatives ate that shit up.
So this is about conservatives.
Fortunately for Peterson, people who hate Jews or march with tiki torches also tend to dislike political correctness and feminism.
So because extremists don't like political correctness, everyone who criticizes political correctness or has a problem with it falls within that category, makes it, by that logic, impossible to speak out against political correctness. Otherwise, you're the equivalent of the guy with the tiki torch now.
Groups like the alt-right became some of his biggest fans.
What are you basing that on? A photo of a Pepe flag?
He, like Peterson and the alt-right, aren't f***ing, but he doesn't mind flirting a bit.
He did bring in the Pepe flag.
Making people bake a cake for a gay wedding.
Making them do it?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a very good idea.
Okay, this is the one that people claim Jim Jefferies corners Jordan Peterson.
Should they be able to deny making a cake for a black couple if they don't like black people?
Allowed to? Probably. That doesn't mean it's right.
Okay, so then we had the civil rights movement, where they said black people, you had to serve them in your restaurants and stuff like that, and it did work, and it did make our society better, but would you argue that that still wasn't right?
No, that was right.
Why is that different to now if you didn't want to make a cake for black people?
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not different. Yeah. Maybe I was wrong about that.
All right.
If I'm a videographer and I do weddings, if you come to me and you're like, Warren, I want you to be the videographer at my wedding, I'm not compelled to do that. And I don't even have to give the reason for why I don't want to do the wedding. It might just be I'm too booked. It might be I don't like the pay. It might be I don't like you. That's my business. I don't have to give a response to that. The same way, baking a cake, I'm not compelled to bake the cake for your wedding. And you can't compel people's services. You're comparing that to a restaurant that is catering to the public. Two different things.
Peterson started posting YouTube videos railing against political correctness.
His guard is lower than it is today. It's perfect opportunity for someone like Jim Jefferies to come in and capitalize on the story.
They set up PA systems with white noise.
But also... Why does the noise have to be white?
Kind of funny, all right.
You think that hate speech should be free speech as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the issue is who defines hate speech.
He has disavowed violence at his events, but strangely, he just can't seem to strongly disavow the groups themselves.
He literally says he does not like Nazis. What would be enough of a disavowal of these hate groups? If you literally say, I want nothing to do with them, I don't like them, I want nothing to do with the alt-right. he said all of those things. What more can you articulate? What would make you happy?
The alt-right, neo-Nazis, KKK, how do you feel about these people?
I generally don't invite them to my parties.
Right.
I imagine there's probably more to that response that was just edited out to try and get this understated snip. He's probably exasperated at this point because he has gone over this topic in so many cases.
And he also seems to enjoy being a bit provocative.
I don't really think of it as delivering a lecture to an audience. The closest thing, really, that it compares to is probably stand-up comedy. It's something I really admire about comedians, too, is that they'll take that risk.
Yeah.
So I forget which interview that was where he said, I don't see myself as a provocateur. Sometimes when I say what I think to be true, some people might find that provocative, but there's nothing you could do about that. You're pursuing the truth. That's what you genuinely believe. And what's the alternative to that? Compromise on the truth so that someone doesn't find you provocative?
Some comics do props, some do puppets. Peterson does psychosocial analysis in the character of a 1950s dad.
College students, the postmodern types, they're so ungrateful. You can't force me to respect you. It's just not possible.
This respect comment. If respect was automatic, respect by definition would cease to exist. I meet a random person, I don't just automatically respect them. Respect exists because it is earned, because it is someone who has done something to stand out that you find admirable. It's not just automatic.
I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest. I don't think that men can control crazy women. Women are much unhappier than they were, say, in the late 1950s and early 1960s.
Hilarious.
These are such fast little clips that it's impossible to even, of course this is going to be incoherent.
Watch what he says when the cameras aren't rolling.
I'm not a big fan of Islam. I think that wearing a burqa is stupid and demeaning.
So Muhammad is considered the perfect man.
Right, yes.
Okay?
You can't draw a picture of it.
No, don't you dare, don't you dare. I've got enough death threats on me, brother.
There he is.
Jesus Christ.
There he is. He looks like a wobbly ghost.
I think I ate the baby. It turned out it did eat the baby.
If it ain't a bloody Muslim baby, it would have vomited.
No, I don't actually agree with that
shit. I'm only joking.
But that's not funny. They're talking about fucking killing kids. That's causing a lot.
I think this was the domino that took down Jim Jefferies. I haven't seen him I haven't heard about him in a long time. This was like 5 years ago. So I don't know what he's doing now. Maybe it was probably a combination of scandals, but that's what happens when you stray away from truth.
Even I was shocked by just how deceptively the thing was chopped up. I look at that as sort of a pivotal event that showed just how completely unscrupulous the mainstream media can be when they want to make an ideological point.
We'll edit this bit out. I never look bad in these interviews.
When you just disregard truth as something that it doesn't matter. It can be malleable. It can be manipulated. It's a dangerous game to play.